Yes. Yes. Okay, we gotta start. All right. Good. She made it back just in time. Awesome. I will check it out in between class. All right. So, last week we worked on solving equations. Now we're going to look at a special type of equation. Okay. I need you two to stop talking. Focus up here, please. Okay. I love you both, but focus. Now is not the time. Okay. So,
I need to move.
stop. While we take notes?
Yeah.
I mean,
Bro, she keeps talking to you. I'm just turn on.
Okay. Enough.
Like, so right there in that chair.
Sure. I'm okay with that. All right. So, a literal equation. That is not enough room there. And I need to get my marker because this isn't showing up very much. So that first blank there is literal equation. Okay. A literal equation is an equation that contains more than, take a look at the examples at the bottom. What do you think is going to fill into that blank? More than one variable. Okay, so instead of just having x, we might have x and y. We might have L, W, and H. Okay, as long as there is more than one letter, which means you have more than one variable, this is considered a literal equation. And our job with a literal equation is to solve the equation, to isolate the variable. What does it mean to isolate again? We're not trying to get rid of it. You're in isolation, so you're all by yourself. Okay? You're all by yourself. So, if you look, I gave you the steps. First off, you need to know what variable you're trying to solve for. What variable do I need to get by itself? Then we follow the same steps that you learned last week with solving equations. Do I need to distribute? Do I need to divide? Do I need to multiply? Okay, so we use the inverse operations then to get the variable by itself. Okay. So, here's your first example. What is this equation? That's not a 1, that's an L.
Oh.
You should know what this equation is. What does A stand for in this equation? Area equals length times width. This is the area of a square or a rectangle. Okay? I need to get W by itself. So my job is to get rid of everything on this side except for W. I need to keep that all by itself. So, how do I get rid of L? Okay, hold on. Back up for a second. So, I've got LW. If there's nothing written in here, what is happening? Multiplication. So, how do I get rid of L then? We divide. We divide. Who still says we divide? Okay, so I need to divide. Remember, what I do to one side, I do to the other. So, area divided by length equals width. Actually, let's make that a capital L. Cause that, okay. So this is saying that if I had a rectangle, and I told you that the area of the rectangle is 36 inches squared, and I told you that the length of the rectangle is 4 inches, you need to find the width. So you would divide your area by your length. What's 36 divided by 4? 9. So my width then would be 9 inches. Okay, so that's your width. So all you did,
You write that on the space.
you can if you want. If you want this example on there, go for it. Okay? You're welcome to put anything extra onto your papers. So if you would like this example, that is fine. So all we are doing is changing an equation to find something that we did not know. YouTube just emailed me to tell me we're live. Okay. P equals 2 times the quantity of L plus W. I'm going to change this into a capital L. I don't know why they use lowercase. I don't like it. Okay. That way you know that's an L and not a 1. Okay. Yes, that's the second one. Okay. Again, my goal here is to isolate W. So what would you like to do first? Distribute that 2. All right. So I take the 2 and I multiply it against the P, or I'm sorry, not the P, the L. So that becomes 2L. It also multiplies against the W. So 2W. Okay. I'm still looking for W equals. So what should I move first if I'm looking for W equals? Move the 2L. Okay, I want to get rid of everything that doesn't have a W. So I'm trying to get rid of this first. It's positive, so we subtract it. Yeah, that's fine. So while we do then, P minus 2L equals 2W. Okay, so Amor said, I can't take P and subtract 2L. They're not like terms. That's okay. So while I can't put them together, I can still keep them side by side. W is still not by itself. So now what? Divide by what? Divide by 2. So P minus 2L divided by 2 equals W. And that's all you do. We're not solving, we're not trying to get X equals 2. I just want my equation to say the variable that they want equals everything else. That's all I'm trying to do. So you're not getting actual answers. You're just moving an equation. So back in 8th grade, when you had to take an equation like this, and you had to change it to y equals so you could graph it, that's all we're doing. Okay, we're changing it so another variable is all by itself. Okay. This glues in on page 16, friends. Yes. Go now, you can glue it in a second. Did anybody have fancy Elmer's glue that they left?
That look like mine, that's mine.
It was found back here, so I was guessing it was somebody back here. You have yours? That's fine, I just happened to find it and I didn't want anybody to be like, my glue stick got taken. So just know if you decide that yours is missing, yes, dear. It's yours. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
When's Christmas?
December 25th. My friend keeps posting how many days till Christmas. I'm like, listen, it is way too far away. I don't even want to think about it right now.
The only thing I like about Christmas is on every movie, it be snowing on Christmas. It don't be
And we
snowing
never
there.
get snow.
Right. It be so funny to do.
You know, on Christmas in New York.
Listen, all you got to do is move to my hometown of Pennsylvania. You'll get snow all the time.
Yes.
It never goes away.
It never go away like it's always snow.
Oh my gosh, it snows from like November till like April. Just know though, when you get 6 feet of snow, you're still going to school in Pennsylvania. You ain't staying home.
What do you guys like seeing it?
I giggle because we get a snowflake down here and they're like, let's cancel school for 7 weeks. That's not. Okay, we've got one more page of notes. It folds in half like a booklet. So your front page should say literal equations, more practice. He's losing his pencil already. Oh no.
I don't like my papers with wrinkles in
Paper has a wrinkle in it? I know. I don't know what's up with the printers now. Like, they're not, yeah. Oh, yeah, just fold it in half like a booklet. She's one of those perfectionists. I had several last year. I don't know what's up with the printer. It's not. Listen, that ain't my job. I ain't that good. Okay. D equals R times T. This is an equation for distance. Distance, okay, equals your rate times time. Okay. If I know how fast you're going and I know how long you're going for, I can tell you how far you went. Okay? So I want to solve this for T. So my job is to get this all by itself. Oh my gosh, that didn't even show up. Goodness gracious. Can you? You got good eyes? Because I don't. There we go. Okay, so my job is to get that all by itself. How do I remove R from T? Divide. It's being multiplied. So the R's cancel and D over R equals T.
Oh,
Okay, that's supposed to go in the little box when you're finished. Your final answer should go in the little box. So, to find how long it took you, you take the distance that you went and you divide by the rate that you traveled. Okay, so something like you traveled 300 miles and you were going 3 miles an hour. How long did it take you? Okay, so you would take 300 and divide by 3. It took you 100. Okay. Okay. I want to solve this one for H. So my job is to get H by itself. But there's a B, and what else is there? A half. Okay? So I need to somehow get rid of the half, and I need to somehow get rid of that B. So let's get rid of the half first. How do I get rid of halving something? Multiply by what? 2. So the first thing I need to do is multiply both sides by 2. So when I do that, 1/2 disappears. So 2A equals BH. Again, I'm still trying to get this by itself. Now I've got a pesky B that I've got to take care of. We divide. We divide by B. That cancel out, so 2A divided by B equals H. So H equals 2A divided by B. This is actually the formula to find the area of a triangle. The area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height.
We will be working on the intercom system, so there will be quite a few interruptions, so just disregard.
Somebody knock on the door. Let them in. Somebody needs to let them in.
Questions?
Somebody knock.
Yeah, you true.
Oh, good.
Somebody knock on the door. They said. Oh.
They just replaced their intercom system, so we're still finding bugs and problems with that they're working on.
Are we doing that?
Yes. No, that's today.
Why can't that be for the seniors?
Because my seniors are learning something completely different. All right. I want to do this one. Example 3 on the inside. Okay. I want to solve this one for A. So I need to get rid of everything that does not have A. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
You finished this one already?
Yes. Y'all were too busy doing this. No, I don't have time to go back right now. I can put it back up later.
You don't have enough time. You about to work on it.
Listen, if you two were not back there chit-chatting while I'm trying to teach, you'd be focusing. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is get rid of anything that does not have an A. So what should I move first? The BY. So we have to subtract the BY.
When do it officially start getting cold? Like, so when
Right.
Okay, so here's my question. Can I put C and BY together, or do they just go side by side? Side by side. Okay, they are not the same. They go side by side. So C minus BY. Okay. Still, I need this by itself. How do I get rid of that X now? Divide. So A equals C minus BY divided by X. That's your answer.
This is new, right? Or is it confused?
Never learned it.
While they may have not called it literal equations, when I take this to make it y equals, that's what we're doing. So you've done it, but they haven't called it literal equations. Got the hiccups. Hey, solve this for B. Solve this next one for B. So, I need to get rid of everything on the right-hand side that doesn't contain a B first. So, subtract MX. Remember, it may be in front, but it is positive. So, that means I need to subtract it. Can I put these two together, or do they go both side by side? Side by side. So y minus mx equals b. Is b all by itself? You're done.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you writing too fast in the box. So I can go on.
We got homework tonight, no?
Absolutely.
How we not have it, right?
Because you had a quiz.
Can we please not have it on Friday, please? Please, I'm begging you. Please, no. Please, I'm begging you. Like, I will trade in a pack of batteries. Some more glue sticks. I promise.
She's like, I will buy you this, that, and everything if I don't have homework.
I don't want homework. What do you think about it?
I'll think about it.
Just don't want homework.
Okay. V equals 1/3 BH.
Multiply.
Multiply by what?
3 for multiply.
Multiply by 3, because I'm trying to get rid of that 1/3.
Yes.
Okay. When I multiply by 3, this 1/3 cancels out. So 3B equals BH. My goal is still to get H by itself. It's still not. So what do I have to do now?
You have to.
Divide. Divide by what? Divide by B. Because remember, 2 letters side by side means I'm multiplying. Three V divided by B equals H. Is H by itself? Yes, so it goes in the box. I'm going to ask you two one more time to stop talking about
Don't
I don't care, but you are still talking about things that have nothing to do with what I'm teaching. So I need you to stop.
Is that the sheet that she used for the units? Is that the sheet that she used for the units? For next time, purple?
Yes, I can do purple next. Okay. Uh-oh.
The A by itself? Yes.
Okay. This one I really, really need you to pay attention to. Because this is one of the problems that you all struggled with on the one-step equations. Because you had something like, I think it was negative 30 divided by x equals negative 6. And you could not figure out how to handle that. Not while I'm teaching. Okay. Okay, so your first attempt at this, before I can solve for x, I need it out of the bottom. So, to solve for a, I need it out of the bottom. So how do I do that? Okay, you actually have two ways to approach this. Okay, so you can multiply. So I would multiply this by x. So they cancel and you're left with negative 30 equals negative 6x. Then divide by negative 6 to get x by itself. Okay, so you can take the same approach here. So I need to get that a out of the bottom before I can solve for it. So I need to multiply both sides by a. So ax equals negative b divided by 2.
And you have to divide both sides by x.
Okay. Okay, I need to get a by itself still. So what needs to happen? Divide by x. So when I divide by x, where does it actually go? Does it go with the b or does it go with the 2? It goes with the 2. I'm dividing by x. So it goes in the bottom. So a equals negative b divided by 2x. Okay, let me show you another way to do this, and you're welcome to put this on your examples as well. Okay, so there's two different ways. I do not care which way. This one might help you. Okay, x equals, it was negative b divided by 2a. Change x into a fraction. What's that look like? How do I change anything into a fraction without changing its value? Put it over 1. Okay, watch what I do. Take this take this fraction, flip it. If I flip this side, I flip this side. And then multiply both sides by b. Or sorry, negative b. So you get negative b over x equals 2a. And then divide both sides by 2. So guess what? A still equals negative b divided by 2x. Does anybody know the third way? This might bring back some memories. Okay.
Oh, the butterfly method.
The butterfly method. Okay? This is a proportion. You can use the butterfly method. So when I do that, 1 times negative b is negative b, x times 2a. 2AX. Remember, when I butterfly, what I butterfly gets multiplied. So I still need to get A by itself. So what should I do? Divide by 2x. Both of those are being multiplied, so I can divide by them. So negative b equals 2x. Or negative b divided by 2x equals a. Okay. So either way, I don't care which method. Guess what? You got the same answer. I can almost guarantee you most of you are going to stick to the butterfly method because you recognize it. Okay? Okay. Solve for C. This means I have to do what first?
No.
Not yet. Subtract your 32. Remember, you want to get rid of the things that don't have a C with it. So you should subtract your 32 first. So F minus 32 equals 9/5 C. Multiply by what, Seth? Multiply both sides by 5. Okay? So I'm going to multiply by 5. When you multiply by 5, don't forget this entire thing has to be multiplied by 5. So I should put it in parentheses. Okay. It's not just the F that gets multiplied. It is also that negative 32. It's everything over there. So it has to go in parentheses so you remember that it multiplies against the F and it multiplies against the 32. What's my final step then?
Divide.
You don't have to distribute. All I'm trying to do is get C by itself.
Divide.
So divide by 9. Nope. Because you're not actually solving it. So you do not have to distribute. So C equals 5 times F minus 32, all divided by 9. Your head hurts. Bless you. Okay, my final one, I need B by itself. Multiply by 3. Okay. So that cancels the 3 out. So you've got 3V equals B squared H. Careful, it's not times 2.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. 'Cause B times B equals 4.
B times C does not equal B. Okay, remember I need to get everything that's not B out. So how do I remove H? Divide. So 3V divided by H equals B squared. Okay, this is the only one that you may not be familiar with. We talked about it when we talked about inverse operations, but we really haven't done anything with it yet. Okay, something that is squared. To undo square, you take the square root. Okay, so to cancel out this B squared, I take the square root. So the square root of 3V divided by H equals B. And that's your final answer. We won't deal too much with square roots in here. Okay. Square roots are mainly in Math 2. We will touch on it a little bit, but your bulk of it will come in Math 2. Yes, this glues in on page 17. Rosa, when you glue this in, you can go to the restroom. Huh?